Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in to the Homesteads YouTube channel. On today's episode, we're going to speak specifically about blackberries. On the last episode, we discussed black raspberries, and while these two species can seem very similar, they vary substantially. And we have been growing these now for 3 years. This is our third year of them producing. And we started off with 4 canes, and we're just having a lot of luck with them. They're doing very well. There's not a lot of pests associated with them other than maybe some caterpillar like moth larvae, but other than that they're doing very well, and that's why I thought I would speak about them specifically. And the health benefits also vary quite substantially to black raspberries. Anyways, so the nutritional facts are brought to us by the USDA. In 1 cup there's 144 grams, so 62 calories, 0.7 grams of fat or 1%, 1.4 milligrams of sodium, 233 milligrams of potassium, that is 6%, 14 grams of carbs or 4%, dietary fiber weighs in at 8 grams or 32%, 7 grams of sugar, which is considered low on the glycemic index, 2 grams of protein is 4%, vitamin A 6%, calcium 4%, vitamin C 50%, iron 4%, magnesium 7%, and there are 29 micrograms of vitamin K, that's 33%. So everybody kind of thinks of vitamin C as this vitamin that is just healthy and really good for you and stops you from getting sick. And those things are true, but there's also some other health benefits associated with vitamin C, such as wound healing, skin regeneration, elimination of free radicals, and an increase in iron absorption. So those are some other health benefits to consider, and again, this provides in 1 cup 50% of your daily recommended intake. Vitamin K is useful for blood clotting, bone metabolism, and decreased amounts of vitamin K have been found to reduce bone density, so you're more likely to incur a fracture and increase bruising. So yeah, I mean, if you're on a blood thinner, you want to consider increasing your intake of vitamin K, and this provides 33% of your daily recommended intake. 0.9 milligrams of manganese is 50%, and that helps manage blood sugar levels and prevents osteoporosis. So there's a couple things. The high fiber slows down the absorption of sugar, not slows down the absorption, slows down the release of sugar into your bloodstream, so that's beneficial for diabetics. And manganese also assists in blood sugar levels. And then there's a couple of things that assist with bone density and also osteoporosis factors, so good for a couple of those reasons, not including the health benefits associated with vitamin C and all the other small amounts of vitamins and minerals that you're getting. So ellagic acid, I had trouble spitting that one out, is an antioxidant that is in high amounts, in high concentrations in the berries. It assists with reducing brain inflammation that can cause cognitive and motor issues, and it also protects neurons like black raspberries, and it also has antibacterial properties. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the planting recommendations. So, according to the University of Arizona, black raspberries are native to large areas in the globe. North America, all the Americas actually, Europe and Southeast Asia, I think is the last one. But basically, these are going to be native to our region, most likely. I'm going to say most likely. It really doesn't make a lot of sense since these things can be produced on 65-70% of the planet to ship them internationally. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. So all the university sites that I read today, sites that I perused today, basically said that it is very high probability that if you're purchasing black raspberries at a local nursery, that it'll be some combination of the native species located in your area. All right, so another interesting fact, in Europe, these things have been cultivated for at least 2,000 years and have been found to have been planted around forts to protect them. You know, imagine a 20-foot wide or deep bramble bush patch. You probably wouldn't want to charge through that. It'd probably a pretty good defensive structure without having to build palisades and all that kind of stuff. But I'm digressing here. Anyways, so planting recommendations. Basically, zone 4 to 10 is your sweet spot. They have been found growing in as low as zone 2, but that's going to require a ton of snow to protect these plants and stop them from dying. You're going to want to put them in full sun and have fertile soil. So our soil here, like I said earlier, I think I said earlier in the video, we started off with 4 canes, and there you can see that darker one in the background there, and this darker one here. So those were 2 canes. We planted 2 on the other side where I started filming due to better lighting. Anyways, in the first year, our 4 turned to 20, and now this year, not 20, maybe about 10 or 12, sorry, and now we're up to at least 40. So our soil is good for this native species. Our topsoil is really good, about 3 or 4 inches deep, and it turns to sand and some clay underneath that, and we're pretty wet. They want a lot of water, up to an inch, so 2.5 centimeters to maybe even 2 inches during heavy production. And our soil's wet, the topsoil is good, it was all clover here, but we also laid down 2 years worth of wood chip mulch, and now I have grass, which I've also done videos on, and replaces approximately 25% of nitrogen consumed by vegetables, so definitely going to be good for your berry bushes as well. They want well-drained soil, but it needs a lot of water, and yeah, I mean, these things have really exploded, so I think we just kind of have the perfect storm for blackberry production on our property here. You're going to want to plant them in spring for the best results, 5 to 6 feet apart, or in 8-foot rows if you're really interested in cultivating these nice and neatly, which I am not. And if you follow along on the channel, you're probably starting to see that I really don't plant anything with any specific order other than maybe my trees. Some fertilizer doesn't hurt if you don't have all the soil requirements excuse me, that you think you should. So a 10-10-10 fertilizer will do really well for these. One trick that I will share with you before I go is when these in the summer get up to about 5 feet, you can trim off 2 inches and it will cause them to shoot out a lot more. Again, we're not really doing that. These things are spreading like wildfire. And on this side, I'll show you. So last year there was just a couple in here and a few concentrated around, and then this one shot up, and now this year we have another 6 or 7 there. And if I step back in here, mind the horsetail, there's about 4 or 5 growing into that box, and then there's another 5 here and another 6 or 7 over there. And this is the perennial side of the garden, so I'm not too concerned with them spreading in here. If they really become problematic, then I'll start digging them out, and it's really not that much work to keep them kind of isolated. And yeah, I'll just zoom in quickly here and show you some of the blossoms. So you can see up at the top there that those ones are already fertilized and the berries have started to grow. That's all taken place in the last few days to maybe a week. And then you can see a bunch of blossoms there, and you know, same kind of thing here and here and here. And yeah, basically all the way around. So these are a great perennial crop. They really don't require too much care as long as you have them in some good soil and you water them frequently once they're into production. There are some pests, as I already mentioned, I believe, just some caterpillars and different things. You can see some of the damage there. Japanese beetles like to go after the berries and the blossoms, and you'll get some birds robbing you a little bit too. But all in all, a really good plant with a ton of health benefits. Doesn't take a lot to care for them, and they'll produce a lot of food for you. The few canes that produced last year gave us handfuls and handfuls of berries. They're delicious. They don't taste better from the store than growing at home, that's for sure. But anyways, that's it for today, folks. Thanks a lot for tuning in as always. And if you found this useful, you could give me a thumbs up. That helps spread the word and gets the message out to more people. Anyways, yeah, thanks again, folks. Take care.